A warm welcome to all of you, and I thank you for taking the time to attend today's workshop. My name is Tom Jose, and I work in the marketing section of the Manage Engine team, and today's workshop will be conducted by me. I hope my voice is audible and the display is well and clear. If not, please let us know in the chat provided. Now this is the third workshop of the AD Self-Service Plus workshop series. The first workshop was conducted on the password reset feature. The second one was in the password synchronizer feature. And today's agenda, as put up on the slide, we'll be covering the topic on how to provide Active Directory based single sign-on for cloud applications. For those of you who are new to this workshop series, let me start with what exactly is AD Self-Service Plus. Now, AD Self-Service Plus is a secure, web-based, end-user password reset management program. This software helps domain users to perform self-service password reset, self-service account unlock, and employee self-update of personal details like telephone numbers, etc. in the Windows Active Directory. Now, single sign-on, or the ability to use one account across multiple connected platforms, has been a holy grail for IT administrators for many years now. The fact that we don't need to type the credentials every time to log into your cloud apps makes life easier for everyone around, isn't it? It well significantly reduces the need for remembering each cloud application's password, and AD Self-Service Plus gives you this benefit. In addition to the password reset or unlock accounts or the password sync feature, AD Self-Service Plus provides SSO or single sign-on for cloud applications, which, when configured, the end users can use their AD authentication to log in, or they can log in via the AD Self-Service Plus domain user page. Now, in both scenarios, there is no need to remember your individual cloud app credentials, as AD Self-Service Plus has got you covered. Now, as you can see, today's workshop will be showing you the following: how to allow users to automatically log in to cloud applications without manually entering credentials every time, control SSO for each app based on OUs and groups in the Active Directory, and finally, how to use the existing Active Directory identities as the authentication source for logging into cloud applications. So let's start with the workshop. I'll head over to my AD Self-Service Plus product, and as you can see, this is the home page. So I'm given two logins. One is the admin login and the domain user login. So since we have to configure the single sign-on and everything, I'll start with the admin login. Now within the admin login, you can see that on the right side, I already have a domain, and that is the SSP workshop domain. Now if you want to edit or add a new domain, just click on domain settings on top of it. And you can see that I have this domain, that is SSP workshop, along with the domain controller ADSSP-workshop, and I've also given the respective credentials. Now you can choose to edit this, refresh the domain objects, or even delete it. And also you can click here to add a new domain. So since we've covered that part of AD Self-Service Plus, let's head over to the major part, and that is the single sign-on for cloud applications. So I'm going to head over to the configuration tab. And on the left side under self-service, we have the password synchronizer. Now you can see that within the password synchronizer, these 12 apps you see right now are the ones that are supported for password sync. But the ones which are supported for single sign-on is basically you have to just click on the drop down and click on single sign-on apps. And these 4 apps are the ones supported for single sign-on. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to configure the Google Apps. So I've just clicked on Google Apps and I'm onto the Google Apps configuration. Now within modules, I'm going to uncheck the password synchronizer option and focus only on the single sign-on. So the domain name, let me just type that. That is vdstesting.com and click on save. Actually, let me just try that again because I'll have to show you one more thing. So I'll just do that once more. vdstesting.com and within the policy which we have, I'm going to select one specific policy, and that is a sysadmin, and I'm going to click save. Now that being done, we need to configure the SSO within the Google Apps site. So I'm just going to go to my Google Apps account, and as you can see, this I've logged in as the administrator for my Google Apps domain. And once you're in, within the admin console, we have something called the security. And here, there's an option called Setup Single Sign-On SSO. So under Setup Single Sign-On SSO, we have an option that says Setup SSO with Third-Party Identity Provider. So only on enabling it, you can start configuring the details. And here we have 3 URLs to be mentioned, that is sign-in page, sign-out page, and change password URL. And also we need to give a certificate. So you might be wondering, now where exactly do we get the details and the respective certificate? Now don't worry, now within AD Self-Service Plus, if you just edit on your settings for Google Apps, you can see on the right side is the download SSO certificate. So once you click it, you can see that these are the URLs, that is the login URL, the logout URL, etc. And if I just click on download SSO certificate, you can see the respective certificate here as well. So as you can see, I have already configured all those. I've given the certificate and I've given the URLs respectively. So I can just go ahead and check if the single sign-on feature is working. So what I'm going to do now is try to log in as a domain user of mine, and that is the user Tom Joes. And let me just type his password and click on login. Now within AD Self-Service Plus, any action you like to do, like account unlock or change password, reset password, etc., you need to make sure you're being enrolled into the AD Self-Service Plus first. And that's exactly what this pop-up is trying to make you do. So I'm going to click here and I'm redirected to the enrollment tab. Now here, I'm going to choose 2 questions, that is security questions. So the first one is, what is your mother's maiden name? Let me just type that answer. And the second one is the country you always dreamt of vacationing in. I'll type that answer as well. And click enroll. So now since I've successfully enrolled, I can go ahead to any of the other tabs. And since I'm planning to show you single sign-on, I'll head over to the applications tab. And here you can see that the Google Apps which I had configured has been listed. And now I can choose to log in directly to the Google Apps account of Tom Joes by clicking here. Now if I click here, I'll be redirected to Google App login page. And if I just click next, you can see that I have been successfully logged in as my user Tom Joes. That is this. And that's how this single sign-on for cloud applications work. Now there are 2 methods. One is you can go and log in via the AD Self-Service Plus domain, or you can just directly give in the site name over here itself, like in the new tab. Type in the email ID, that's tomjoes@btstesting.com, and next. And as you can see, again, I'm back and logged in into my Google Apps account. So this is how the single sign-on works, and notice that the only reason I was able to be logged in to my Google Apps is because in this other tab, I was logged into my AD Self-Service Plus. So yes, both of them are dependent, and if AD Self-Service Plus is logged in into your account specifically, will you be able to automatically log in to your respective cloud applications. So now that being done, just going to sign out from here. And now let's see what we have next in the topic, and that is control SSO for each app based on OUs and groups in Active Directory. So I'll head back to my AD Self-Service Plus admin page, and I'll head over to the policy configuration. Now within the policy configuration, you can see currently I have two policies. One is sysadmins and one is the finance. Now basically, this policy is a feature within AD Self-Service Plus to segregate or make department-wise policies. So like in sysadmins, I have users from the OU admin. So if I just click here, you can see that it has only users from the OU admin, and the users have been given option to reset password, unlock account, self-update and change password. So if I just open my Active Directory users and computers, you can see that within my Tom OU, admin OU, the users Tom, Joes and David are mentioned. So these users will enjoy the benefits of whichever policies they're configured in, and that is a sysadmin. Next is the finance. So if I click edit, you can see that even finance team or the users have the option to reset password, unlock account, self-update and change password. And they are part of the finance OU of the same Tom OU. So these include users like Eddie, Harris, and Logan. So these are two different policies having users from two different OUs. And if you noticed that in my password synchronizer for Google Apps, I had configured the SSO for the sysadmins alone. That means only the users belonging to the sysadmin policy, that is Tom, Joes, or David, will be able to see the Google Apps application in their domain user login and use Cloud SSO along with it. Now I'm going to configure another account or cloud application, and that is Zoho. So here again in the modules, I'm going to select only the single sign-on, and we have the SAML redirect URL. So let me just give that. That is https mail.zoho.com/portal/crick11, and the domain name is crick11.com. And within the policies, what I'm going to do is I'm going to uncheck all these policies and select only finance. So that means only the users within the finance department or the team will be able to use the Zoho cloud application for SSO. Now, I have just configured the Zoho within AD Self-Service Plus side. I need to do the same in the Zoho configuration as well. So I'm going to head to my administrator of my Zoho domain, and here we have this control panel within which is the mail and docs. Now here again is the SAML authentication. So here is the portal URL which I just clicked right now, and that is https mail.zoho.com/portal/crick11. That's exactly the SAML URL you need to type in. And then we have the authentication details, which has login URL, logout URL, change password URL, and the public key. So these again, you can get it from this SSO certificate, just like I had shown you in Google Apps. Now once that is done, you can just go ahead and click OK. And I'll just try logging in as one of my users within the finance team. And that user, let me just confirm that, and that is Eddie. So I'm going to go to the domain user login, given the username that is Eddie, and his password, let me just type that. and log in. Now you can see that just like I had faced for the user Tom Joes, Eddie also has to enroll. So I'll just click here. And as you can see that security question answers is the default authentication method we have to give in two security questions. The first question is, what is your mother's maiden name? Let me just answer that. And the second question is the country you always dreamt of vacationing in. I'll just answer that as well. And if you just uncheck this hide answers, you just need to type your answer once and you can verify everything is correct. Then go ahead and click on enroll. Now since that is done, I can again go freely to the applications tab and notice that this time for the user ID, just like I had configured in the policies, only the Zoho cloud application is visible and not the Google Apps application. So now, just like I had done that earlier, I'm just going to click here and I'll be automatically logged in as the user ID into my zoho.com. So let's just see if that happened. And it was a success. And the user ID has been successfully logged in. Similarly, if I just sign out and directly try to log in, that is mail.zoho.com, and given my password, credentials for the user ID. So when I click on login, you'll be asked for the credential, that is email ID and password. Now if you have to enter the password, the entire point of single sign-on is wasted, right? But the unique part of this is I just have to choose my email ID, that is eddie@quick11.com, and the password, I don't need to remember my exact password. I just have to give a random password, anything random, because if you don't give a random password, as the UI of this page, it does not allow us to continue forward. So just for it to satisfy its requirement, let's just give a random password and click on login. And again, like earlier, I'll be successfully logged in as a user ID. And like I had said you earlier for Google Apps, this was only possible because I was already logged in as the user ID in the other tab. So that's how the single sign-on works, and along with the policies, how you can configure different policies with different cloud applications assigned to it, so that if at all in your organization there are users which use different linked accounts, you can do the same configuration within AD Self-Service Plus. So I'm just going to sign out now, and let's head over to the next topic, and that is use existing Active Directory identities as the authentication source for logging in to cloud applications. So what we have been doing so far is that we have been logging in as a respective user in AD Self-Service Plus, and then via that being able to log in to the cloud applications. Now what if you're not logged in to the AD Self-Service Plus? Let's see what happens. So I'm going to give in my mail.zoho.com URL, and here I'm going to click on login, and the email ID, let me just give that is eddie@quick11.com, and like I said earlier, a random password, and click on login. So as you can see, I'm redirected to the custom authentication page, and this is the new part, and that is you can use your AD authentication to sign in to your Zoho account. So earlier this was not shown because you already logged in this next tab as your respective user in AD Self-Service Plus. But now since I'm not logged in anywhere into AD Self-Service Plus, the respective authentication page has shown up, and I need to just give in my AD authentication. So the username is Eddie. The password, let me just type that and click on login. And you can see that I have been successfully logged in again to my Eddie account in the Zoho. So with that, I've shown you let's just recap first. So I've shown you how we can automatically log into the cloud applications by configuring single sign-on feature for the cloud applications. So what we have done is I just log in as my domain user, and I was able to click on the Google Apps or the Zoho option, and via that able to log in to my respective cloud applications accounts. And the next one is the control SSO for each app based on OUs and group and Active Directory. So with that, I had shown you earlier how to configure policies, different policies, how you can add different set of users or OUs and groups within it. And using the same policies, you can configure your cloud application SSO. So like how I had done for the Google Apps, I had configured the sysadmin as policy. So only the users from the sysadmin could use the Google Apps. Similarly, I had configured the Zoho cloud application for the policy finance. That means only the users of the finance team could use the Zoho cloud SSO. And then finally, I showed you how we can use the existing Active Directory identities as the authentication source for logging into cloud applications. So like I'd shown you, when you log in to the respective cloud applications like mail.zoho.com, when you are not logged into AD Salesforce Plus in any site tab, then you will be redirected to the AD Salesforce Plus authentication, where you give in the user's AD authentication credentials, like how I had done for Eddie, and you'll be successfully signed in. So there are two methods. There are two methods for this login. One is using your AD authentication directly in the mail.zoho.com or the respective cloud application, or you can log in as a AD Salesforce Plus domain user and via that log into your respective cloud application. So we have come to the end of today's workshop as I've covered all the set exercises in the agenda. Now next session I will be covering the password expiry notification feature, which allows you to send password expired or soon to expired password reminders to end users and many other functionalities. So I thank each and everyone for being such a wonderful audience and being patient with us. Any questions regarding the session can be put in the chat box, to which we will reply immediately, or else if there isn't enough time, we will take it personally offline with you. Also, please take a minute or two to fill up the feedback form mailed to you after the session to let us know your thoughts on today's workshop and any room for improvement. You can also let us know what topics you would like to discuss in the future workshops so that we'll have an idea from now itself. Now the video of this workshop will be available online and also shared with you personally on request, the chat or feedback form. I repeat, the video of this workshop will be available online and also shared with you personally on request to the chat or feedback form. You can also follow up with any questions or queries regarding the AD Salesforce Plus to our support. You can reach them at support@adsalesforceplus.com. I repeat, support@adsalesforceplus.com. Please remember the registration for this workshop is a one-time process, and a reminder for the next workshop will be sent a day before the workshop starts. So I thank you for once again and a good day to all.